Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Poet. Um, got a real good one for you tonight. Gonna talk to you a little bit about the Good Samaritan. Now, I'm coming to you about this, and I know you've heard me talk about it before, but I gotta break it down to you in a different way. Um, there's things that happen. We as people get to a point where we feel like I can't do this, I can't do that, gotta have this, gotta have that. I touched on the story of Ananias once before and his wife and how they tried to manipulate God's people once they figured out the giving and the process of how we should live as God's children. So tonight, and we'll get deep off into that at another time, but tonight we're going to talk about this Good Samaritan thing. And I want you to understand, first and foremost, why Christ decided to share this particular parable with the people. So we're going to start in Luke chapter 10 with the 25th verse. Y'all know me. We're going to read it for what it says and get a real true understanding from God as to what's going on. Okay? Now, Luke chapter 10, verse 25 says, "And behold, a certain lawyer stood up and tempted him, saying, Master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? He said unto him, What is written in the law? How readest thou? And he answering said, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy strength, and with all thy mind, and thy neighbor as thyself. And he answered, and he said unto him, Thou hast answered right. This do, and thou shalt live. Now I want you to pay close attention to what happens next, because this is how or why Jesus decided to share this parable with the people. It's because of the way we are in our hearts, thinking about self. Check it out now. But he, willing to justify himself, said unto Jesus, And who is my neighbor? And Jesus answering said, A certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell among thieves, which stripped him of his raiment and wounded him, and departed, leaving him half dead. And by chance there came down a certain priest that way. And when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. And likewise a Levite, when he was at the place, came and looked on him and passed by on the other side. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion on him, and went to him, and bound up his wounds, pouring in oil and wine, and set him on his own beast, and brought him to an inn, and took care of him. And on the morrow, when he departed, he took 2 pence, and gave them to the host, and said unto him, Take care of him, and whatsoever thou spendest more, when I come again, I will repay thee. Which now of these three thinkest thou was neighbor unto him that fell among thieves? And he said, He that showed mercy on him. Then Jesus said unto him, Go and do likewise. Now, let's get to it. I want you all to understand what Jesus is talking about, how he's viewing us as his children or his brothers and sisters, his family, and how we respond to the will of the Father. Okay? Understand now, it said it. I didn't say this. God's word said this. This man tried to justify himself. We already talked about self-love and how God is displeased with men loving themselves. Okay? Now, we're going to get into this. Understand in this parable, this man walking from Jerusalem to Jericho fell among thieves, which stripped him of his raiment and wounded him and departed, leaving him half dead. We're going to go a little deeper so that you can understand what that means. When we're born into this world, it's said that we are born into sin. Okay? We start our journey as children in this world, being a part of this world because we're being taught by man. If you've been following, you know that we are not to be taught by man, but we are to be taught by the anointing of God. Okay, we're on this journey. This is our journey from heaven down to earth until Judgment Day. This is what happens to us. While we're on this journey, we fall among thieves, the enemy, Satan, come to kill, steal, and destroy. He has beaten us, wounded us, and left us out here for dead. So now we're asking other brothers and sisters for help. Yes, I'm going there with it. If you don't like it, take it up with God. By chance, there came down a certain priest that way. By chance, we go seek the pastor of our church. As we're sitting in the congregation, he's sitting in the pulpit delivering the message. He sees us. If he's doing his job as a pastor, he knows what we're going through. He already know we coming seeking for help. Right? Right. But he passed us by. Okay? We're going to get back to that real quick before we get into the Samaritan. But I got to touch on this Levite. Levite being the second in command in your church, the deacon board, most of the time they're over the benevolence committee. Check out what he does. Likewise, when he was at the place where you are, he came and he looked on your situation. In other words, he examined you. When you go ask for help, don't they give you the third degree? They asking you what you need, why you need it, what it's for, why you couldn't get it done, what happened to this, what happened to that. And then they pat you on your back and send you on your way. Some with a little bit of change to put in your pocket and go on about your business. It's the same scenario. Check this out now. It's not just the church We do it as people. Someone come ask us for something. You already know how we feel about that. God said, as sure as you've done it unto the least of one of these, you've done it unto me. I'm going to tell you why I'm so stuck on that. In his image, after his likeness, and then he breathed his breath, being the breath of life, into our bodies, making us a living soul, which means he placed a small piece of himself in us. A small piece of his immortality is in us. Do you, I mean, that being said, I don't care what someone does, what you know about them, how they live, what you've heard about them, how they used to be, or anything like that. When someone asks you for help, it is a cry for help. God is saying, help me. Understand that. God is saying, help me. Stop looking at the flesh. You're looking at the person and you want to judge the person. And God had already told us we fight not against flesh and blood, but against the principalities. This is a spiritual warfare that we're faced with every day. Remember how Jesus told the people, said, if I make them stop crying out, the very rocks will cry out. Do you want a rock to do what you're supposed to have done for God? That's going to count you out. Your blessings will stop flowing in. Everything that you think you got will be taken away from you. And you're going to fall. And great will that fall be. Man, listen. At this point, this is a man of the law. He knows the law, able to quote the law. There's one thing that he asked that actually helped us for today's way of living. Who is my neighbor? Then Jesus gave this parable. In this parable, he's basically telling you, anyone you see with a need is your neighbor. I don't care who it is, what they may have done. That's your neighbor. You think it's just a coincidence. You turned down this street and it's a homeless looking person sitting over here with these bags on the corner, looking like they ready to just jump out into traffic and get hit by an 18-wheeler. No, it's not a coincidence. God put you in that position just to see if you will stop and help, even ask if they need help. And the thing that's bothersome about it, that has God to where he's like, you just ain't gonna do right, is the fact that you will fix your mouth to say, well, you can't do that with people these days. Somebody will knock you upside your head and take your car. Yeah, because you ain't got no faith in the Lord. You don't believe that he knows all, he sees all. You stopping and asking this person if they need help. If that is their intentions, and you doing this out of the goodness of your heart because you love God that much, if that's their intentions, they gonna see something in their car with you that you didn't even know was there, and gonna tell you, no, I'm good. Thank you though. Knowing they wanted to knock you upside your head and take your car. but it ain't gonna happen. Why? Because of your faith and love for God. Stuck in self, stuck on yourself. My life, my life. What your life? You can't stop and give somebody a ride that you don't know. You can't help your neighbor because you're fearful that you're going to lose your life. Even if you don't lose your life, they might steal something out your car. That is not what he told us to do. And the most saddest thing about it is it's a lot of times it's you Christian folks walking around here saying, swearing, I'm blessed and highly favored. You so blessed and highly favored that you can't let a homeless person sit in your back seat.
Yes.
It's a shame.
It's very hypocritical, if you ask me.
Very, very hypocritical. And it's something that I just came to a point in my life where I can't even deal with that. Like, Lord, I need you to give me the strength, your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding as to how to handle people that act that way. Like, seriously, I've been in this situation. I've needed a ride. I've needed things. So what makes me so good that now that I got it, I can't use the very thing he blessed me with to be a blessing.
The ones that kill me are the ones that knowing somebody usually asks for a few dollars but won't give them, ones that are hungry that sit outside the store or whatever.
Yeah. And then
look, acting like they ain't got no money or they don't want to give them no money because what they do with that money,
right?
It don't matter if they buying drugs, buying something for themselves. They just trying to get a meal or something, man.
Right. I seen, and I talked about this once before, man. Listen,
you never know if you be in this situation.
Right. I sat up here and watched the guy. Sat outside, and this lady come through, gave him $3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, he finna go get something to drink with that. But this man went and bought him a dollar burger, got him a Black and Mild, and went in the store and bought him a shot. So yeah, he didn't tell the whole truth or whatever, but he did fulfill his need, and he got what he wanted with $3.
I'm trying to figure out where he got the shot at for what.
You know them little taco shots.
I'm about to say, what shot he got?
They ain't but $1. Yeah, that's what he did. But then people won't even stop and give folks stuff like that just because of what they gonna do with it.
But then they'll send to like other organizations, but won't help their own community or in their own backyard.
You right about that.
That's the thing that keeps
sent to a whole nother organization in a whole nother state. Well, and then got people in your own community that's in need and you can't even help them. That's sad.
It is.
I had somebody ask me, why is there so many churches around here? Well, these churches, you got certain churches in the city.
Certain denominational churches.
Right. You got all that. But these churches that's in this neighborhood, then you go to this neighborhood, it's a church. Over here is a church. They supposed to be helping that neighborhood, that community, or whatever. It just got to a point where they got to thinking about self. So now you got a church on every corner. And ain't nobody doing nothing for the community. Don't get me wrong. You got some churches that will put forth an effort.
Some
you got churches.
Drives, some of them do. Like I said, they do clothing. It's all kinds of. Like I said, we did fish fry to try to, not only help the community but to raise money for the building. So, we do stuff like trick or treat. Well, when we did have it before COVID and all of this, so we did it for all the kids, but. You know what I'm getting at. And we even had it to where we was even doing stuff for like kids but all the other ones.
And I applaud churches that do that. What those churches that I don't get is when they do it, they have to make a big blown out scene about it. Like, hey, look what we did. Now you starting to boast and that's too much,
Now I'll tell
you
you
know.
something else that people have
But
been
then,
boasting about. No, go ahead.
you got people that or churches that won't even do anything at all. So those churches that's boasting and the ones that won't do anything at all are clashing with each other, and they feel like they better than this one because they ain't doing and they are doing. When both of y'all need to kind of like meet in the middle. You need to teach how to be more humble, and you need to teach how to actually give. Come together as one and make something happen for the community.
Now you remember what we was just talking about for homeless? I'll tell you something else that I've seen. I've seen a trend of people doing is filming themselves giving to homeless people. I at first I
Yeah.
didn't understand, but now I see people just doing it for clout, for attention and whatnot. And
Right.
a lot of people don't homeless people, they have pride as well. They don't want to see themselves being nobody wants to see themselves being filmed in their predicament.
Right. But see, see, Christ actually talked about that too. Because like you can sit up here and well, what he said was talking about the talents, or no, your alms, doing your alms before men, to be seen of men, be seen of other people. You doing this so people can see you doing it. Ain't no reward in there. God don't honor that. Ain't no reward in that. When you present your alms to somebody, you do it in secret. That way, what you do in secret, God can reward openly.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Now, if you doing it, oh, I got to hold on. I'm gonna bless you, but I got to put this on tape first. Wait, what is you doing? No, never mind. I don't even want the blessing. And you run across people that's like that for real, because some
I don't
folks
want that
don't.
blessing.
Some
I might as
folks,
well start for you. Take something from you.
right,
You putting. I don't want
putting
you.
me out there like that, want to air out all my people. Don't like that.
I know, especially with somebody that's down and that's having a hard time struggling, and it's nobody don't want to be seen like that, man. It's they already trying to find their next meal and wonder where they gonna
Right,
sleep.
right, right. I got enough problems. I ain't trying to get no pity from people. I just
I don't
want a
want
little
pity.
help. Right.
I just want some, to be able
Yeah.
to lay my head down and be able to eat something.
Yeah. Just make sure I'm taken care of for right now. That's all I'm asking for. I don't need you to air me out to these people. You Cause now I feel like you're doing this for you.
Just to feel sorry, just to
Yeah.
inspire pity and sympathy. I
Right.
don't need that. I just want something be able to take care of myself. You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
That's the one thing that gets
Exactly.
me because somebody had brought it up before on a post that I usually try to follow more uplifting and inspiring posts. So
Yeah.
and it said, "Do unto others as you would unto you," and that's
Yep.
like I say,
Exactly.
most people I don't try to do it for cloud, like I said, and because you never know what we could go through. You never know. I could end up being homeless. I could end up being
Whatever.
because I try to help out as much
Anything
as
can happen to anybody at any given time, and it's just
like I said, death is certain for sure.
yeah.
Because like I said, I've asked people, how do you grieve with losing a parent after this amount of time has passed? And like I said before, it's everybody's different.
Yeah.
Everybody said they was able to cope. I mean, there's even I'm not gonna say parents just losing a loved one.
You're right.
Because like I said, I got a cousin that's lost children
Yeah.
and they've been gone
That
for 20 years and it still hurts her. And she tells
right.
me, which I've heard before, she's like, a parent ain't never supposed to bury their children.
Right. That's the hardest, man. Listen, from experience, that's the hardest thing in the world to do. You expect at some point
For
for a
your children,
parent, well, for your parent to pass on, and you have to
the
bury them.
children bury the parent.
But for you to have to bury your child,
And then have to live on with
and you got yeah, every birthday that go by, you just
every birthday, every anniversary,
he
every something
he
they
will be
could have happened.
13 right now. He'd have been 12. He'd have
He'd been
been
at
this.
16. He could have got his driver's license, graduation,
Yeah.
21,
I could be watching him play sports, or I could be watching her be a cheerleader or do
or watching
gymnastics or
them get
something.
married, or that's sweet.
Right. I can't walk her down the aisle. Man, that stuff that's painful. I'm not look, like I said, I can't touch on losing a parent. I haven't lost a parent, you know. And
Like I said,
I
it's
even like my dad, we done became closer since I've been grown. But if he passed away, I know it wouldn't hurt me as much as you losing your father hurt,
because we were
because of the
close and
simple
we
fact
lived
that
together.
y'all
And
right your entire life. That's years.
that's
Your
30
all your
years.
life of just knowing your dad, But I know it will hurt because
It
that's
don't.
one thing I never want to see,
That's
you
something I
know.
don't never. It's something you don't really prepare. It. I mean, I don't care how much you prepare for it. You still, once it happens, it's just.
Like it shocked you.
It just you just it literally hits you out of nowhere because even though I knew it was like 2 months, it's just I just know it hurts, but at the same time, I know he's in a better place and he's not suffering.
Yeah. And that's the thing that we have that we can look forward to and try to help us move on in life is the fact that, I know they love me. They did everything they
They
could to
could,
raise me. And I sat here and watched them suffer for X amount of years or months or weeks or whatever, and they're not suffering no more. So I don't want to let him down by not moving on with my life as he instructed me to. You know what I'm
because I
saying?
mean I've cried some nights, and it's I think the worst part of it was having both parents with COVID, and not knowing if mom gonna end up in the hospital as well, is how is she gonna do? Not
Right.
being able to see her and having to barricade myself. That was the hardest part right there. That
Yeah.
was the hardest month. And then when he started going down, then I'm like, I honestly thought he was gonna go. It was about a month ago. I honestly thought he was gonna go then and there.
Mm.
I don't know if I don't know if I told y'all about that because, like I said, I wasn't speaking to nobody at that
Yeah, you
time. And
had you had distanced yourself for a while.
yeah, and then everything started getting better. Then they put him on dialysis because they thought that once they get everything out of his system,
He'd be straight, or
yeah,
he'd
but
bounce
it
back from it.
yeah, but it never, like I said, that once you laid there, them blood clots start to form, and
Yeah.
that's what they said was the cause of his stroke, and it was on the right side. So
Oof.
yeah, like he wouldn't have been able to function or do anything normal, like being able to walk or
Yeah, no.
because on your right side, I think that controls. I can't remember which side it is, but it's don't give me the line or anything, but I can't. I know one of them
I
controls all your
understand.
movements, all your functions, and
Yeah, but it's good to see you again.
it is because
I'm glad you
I'm just
got back
glad that
out.
he's not suffering no more. So
We wanted to come visit you, but I ain't
we
know.
had a lot of people, so it's like I said, I was at work Tuesday when April texted me, and like I said, I've had family over, and y'all would have had to wear a mask because we still in a panoramic.
Yeah, people just ain't
And
doing
it's like I
getting
said,
out from
COVID.
the.
I can seriously speak from firsthand that COVID is not a joke. There was about 5 other people along with my dad, and I sat there and told the girl, I said, can you be honest with me? What is the chances of giving? She was like, well, if your dad just had only COVID, it probably would have been, he would have had a 50-50 chance. But him having pneumonia and being in his age group and all this other stuff, it's
Yeah,
yeah. They told me it's like
it's like having the flu and pneumonia and common cold all mixed in one. It is
they said the
too
survival
much
rate up
strain
there
on.
because he went to Helen Keller. They said it was out of 30 people, it was like 6 survived,
Mm.
and 3 of them actually survived and
Well,
didn't have. That's
I
with
done
no.
still got this going
Oh, I didn't
live.
know it
My
was still
bad.
running.
My
Still going
bad.
on with long term effects. So
I'm sorry, you all. I'm just caught up real in
now we need to talk about.
conversating. But look, real quick, this traveler is pretty much like we all are. We come to a point where we get in a situation where we need help. Like my friend here, just needing somebody to talk to, or whatever it is you may need. That's how other people are. You might see people just like sometimes I see somebody standing out in a parking lot where I work, and they're just talking to themselves, and everything in me, if I'm not working, be wanting to go over here and talk, just to give a person a conversation, because a conversation will go a long way. It's not always about money or giving person a ride or something like that. Sometimes people just need a conversation or just need to know that somebody out there loves, have love that they're willing to give, you know, and give them some encouraging words. Now, I'm not saying when somebody asks you for some money that you're supposed to just give them some encouragement words and send them on the way. No, you're supposed to bless them with the need that they have. And then if they're willing to sit there and listen to you, give them an encouraging word or give them some advice, then offer that to them. But if they ain't want to sit there and do that, you got to remember, when people come to you like that, God is sending people to you for you. This ain't for them. You giving them what they're asking for is not necessarily for them. They getting their need. But you being a giver is him trying to see where your heart is. Is your heart going to be to where you're going to bless them with the sufficiency of what they're asking for? Or is you just going to give them what you think they should have? That's going to be all my time for tonight. I'm sorry about that little bit. Got caught up into another conversation. But duty calls, I got to minister elsewhere too. And I hope that you all take this scripture, read it, study it for yourself, get the fullness of it, and let God bless you in it. That way you can apply it to your everyday life and do what we always say: trust in the Lord with all thine heart, leaning not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. Good night. Y'all be blessed.